Hey everyone, David Ryshpan with you once again for another tutorial here on my YouTube channel. This week we are going to start looking at Brazilian music on piano, focusing on samba and bossa nova and a rhythmic cell referred to as Telecoteco. If you are new to the channel, please click like and subscribe and click the bell notification so that I can let you know when new content is going up every single week. If you're feeling especially generous, you can click on the Patreon link and subscribe there as well to receive PDFs as well as additional exclusive content coming up very, very soon. Thank you for your support, and now let's get into it. Let's start with some general conventions and basic rhythmic fundamentals of Brazilian music, and samba to be specific. Generally, when Brazilian music is notated, it is notated in 2/4 in 16th notes. I will be explaining everything rhythmically that way. And if you download the PDFs on Patreon, they will be notated that way as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on Brazilian rhythm. There's a lot of great instructional material on Brazilian percussion, on Brazilian rhythms, including by my friend, the great bassist Itaguara Brandão, as well as the phenomenal pianist Jovino Santos Neto. I will link to those videos in the description box and in cards as well. But just some basic fundamentals so that we're all on the same page here. In general, the biggest difference in Brazilian music coming from jazz or from Afro-Cuban music is that the accent is on beat 2. If we think about the surdo, the big vertical bass drum, the open tone of that drum is on beat 2. Beat 1 is muted and beat 2 is open. A lot of the issues that can sometimes arise, a lot of the issues I had when I first started listening to samba music was that I would feel the time turned around. I would feel the open bass tone as beat 1 coming from a jazz and rock music background where the kick is on beat 1. So that's the first thing that you need to train your body to feel, is to feel the open bass note on beat 2. If you're coming from reggae, this might help if you feel it like a 1 drop. In terms of how to feel the 16th notes, one thing that I found really helped me was in playing shaker. When we play shaker in a pop context, we have a tendency to start right on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. We start forwards. We start on the downbeat. 2, 1, 2. What I found helped me, both in playing shaker and in thinking rhythmically about Brazilian music, is to start on the 4th 16th before the downbeat. So to start on the pullback, to start on the up, which means you kind of fall into the downbeat. A 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2. And so to feel that in your body when you're playing piano or you're playing any other instrument, to really fall into that downbeat and to inhale and bring your body up on the last 16th. A 1, a 2, a 1, a 2. A word about the chord voicings and the harmony we're going to use in today's exercise. I've decided to put the exercises through a standard 2-5-1 progression in C major. So that would be D minor 7, G7, and C major 7 in the key of C. This is the building block of a lot of jazz music, a lot of standard Great American Songbook harmony, and also of lots of Brazilian harmony. And in general, Brazilian music harmonically revolves around stringed instruments. 6 and 7 string guitars, cavaquinho, bandolim, So string instruments that have tunings that lend themselves to particular chord voicings or ways of spreading out the notes of the chord. And these become kind of characteristic of the sound of Brazilian music, these guitar voicings. And so I've adapted not only the percussion rhythms to piano, but also the guitar voicings to the way I comp or accompany Brazilian music. Most of these voicings are based on the drop 2 shape. So a quick primer on what drop 2 means. If we take a closed chord voicing starting on D minor 7, I'm going to voice it as C, E, F, and A. 7, 9, 3, 5, a very basic standard rootless jazz voicing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that second note from the top, the F, and I'm going to drop it an octave. So now my position for starting to comp is here. From here, all my chords voice lead as they normally would through this chord cycle. So our voicings will be D minor 7, 3, 7, 9, 5, which moves to a G13 voicing, 7, 3, 13, 9, to a C6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 5, and up to an A7 altered voicing just to kind of keep the loop going. So 7, 3, flat 13 or sharp 5, sharp 9. So if I play those voicings in a row, it would be this. The rhythm we're going to look at today is called the Telecoteco rhythm, and it refers to a rhythm that is played on this drum, the tamborim. It is not a tambourine. It's usually played with a stick like this, and you hit the drum like this. It's going to be loud if I play it with the stick, so I'm just going to play it with my fingers. The same ideas apply. Brazilian music, unlike Cuban music, is not directional in the same way. We don't talk about a 3-2 clave or a 2-3 clave in the same way that would apply to Afro-Cuban music, Afro-Latin music. It's a 2-bar phrase. The telecoteco is a 2-bar phrase, and there's a side that is on the beat and a side that is more on the upbeats. So if I play it starting on the upbeat half of the phrase, it'll look like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. So slower, and I will count it as well. 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. And the syllables telecoteco refer to the attacks on the drum. So the ko is the ghost note or the muting on the underside of the tamborim with your index or middle finger. So they're all the in-between notes, and then the te or the tele are the actual hits of the rhythm. So it would be something like this. 1, 2, 1, and 2. Telek, tek, tek, telek, tek, 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 telek, tek, tek, telek, tek, 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 telek, tek, 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 telek, tek, tek, telek, tek, started it on the upbeat side, we can look at it on the downbeat side. So instead of having the anticipation, we would start directly on the second bar. 1, 2, 1, 2, tack, 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 telec, tack, tack, telec, tack, 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 telec, tack, 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 telec, tack, tack, telec, tack, 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 telec, tack, tack, telec, tack, 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 telec, tack, tack, telec, tack, 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 telec, tack, tack, telec. 1, 2, 1, 2, tack. So we're going to take that exact rhythm and apply it to our piano comping. And as we've talked about in the previous funk videos as well, with these repeated rhythms, I'm not necessarily playing the full voicings on every single note. I might drop out some notes, split up the hands between the repeated notes, or play parts of the voicings on one repetition and other parts of the voicings on the other repetition, and also varying the melodies inside my voicings using drop 2 as kind of the anchor of where my voicings are sitting. So in the next example, we're going to see more variation inside of my comping.